Does this work now? Can someone tell me if this works now? I hope I fixed everything. Maybe my teacher chat can let me know if they can actually hear me now. Oh, we're good. Okay, everyone can hear me now. All right, I'll start again. Today we're playing the Echo game that everyone has played before in class. Everyone 4th through 6th grade has played the Echo game. Except this time, you're not playing against each other, and you're not playing to stay in. Thanks, Nora, for privately messaging me that my sound was fixed. I appreciate it. So how this Echo game is going to work is every time you have to answer a question, I'm going to send a link to the YouTube chat for the students to answer. You're going to click on that link and you're going to tell me which one of the 5 melodies you think it is. As you can see, the 5 melodies are on screen, but we'll go through them in a minute. The teachers in their own chat are going to get a different link to a different poll where they will answer which of the 5 melodies they think it is. And whichever chat is more correct gets a point for that question. So let's go through the Echo game for the teachers that have never played it. And for the students who haven't played it in, we're going to say months. How this always works is we're going to start with a basic scale and we're going to remind ourselves what that sounds like. As you can see, the scale is up there on the screen. No, Mr. Oates is already trying to cheat. No, you stop that. Yes, so the scale is already up there on the screen. In case anyone doesn't remember, starting from the bottom up to the top, it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's too loud for me. And we have a series of patterns that use that solfege. So we're going to go through those patterns right now. For the teachers who don't know anything about music, we'll be okay. Because right now, it's going to turn into a sound memory game. Here's how this works. Of all those 5 things on the screen, I'm going to play them and sing them. I'm going to give you time to sing them back with the piano. And then we're going to sing them together. And then we'll move on to the next one so that we have an idea of what everything sounds like. And sorry, teachers, I'm using my kid voice today. Do, sol, do. Here's a second for you. And together. Do, sol, do. That's number 1. So if we're playing the game and you hear something that sounds like this, you're going to have to answer in the poll number 1 because number 1 is do, sol, do. Let's move on to the next one. Number 2 sounds like this. Mi, re, do. I'm going to give you a second so you can sing it with just the piano. And once more time with me. Mi, re, do. And yes, for those of you who are worried in the chat, hey, why isn't this working? Well, it's not working because I turned slow mode on because we had a stew fiasco. And now you can only put 1 thing in the chat per minute. Please don't abuse that. One more time, number 2. Mi, re, do. Thank you, Aditya. But typing it isn't going to help. And now that we have number 1, do, sol, do. Number 2, mi, re, do. And we're going to move on to number 3, which is kind of tricky. Sorry, teachers. Re, ti, do. Once for you on your end. And once more together. Re, ti, do. So now we have number 1. Do, sol, do. Number 2. Mi, re, do. Number 3. Re, ti, do. And now let's move on to number 4. Sol, fa, mi. Once for you at home. And once more together. Sol, fa, mi. So now we have 4 of the things we have to remember. We have number 1, do, sol, do. Number 2, mi, re, do. Number 3, re, ti, do. Number 4, sol, fa, mi. And lastly, number 5. Do, re, do. Once for you at home. And once more together. Do, re, do. And now as a final review of all 5. Number 1, do, sol, do. Number 2, mi, re, do. Number 3, re, ti, do. Number 4, sol, fa, mi. And number 5, do, re, do. Now that we know all our melodies, it's time for us to practice answering a question. So I'm going to give you a sound on the piano. It's going to be 3 of those notes. I'm not singing it though. I'm just going to play it on the piano. And you have to try to remember which of those 5 melodies it sounds like. Let me just set up my straw polls. Whoops. There we go. All right. I'm going to play a melody. Listen closely. I'll play it 2 times. One more time. Listen for the melody. And now, students, I'm going to make your poll and put it in the YouTube chat. That's the same poll 3 times in case anybody missed it. Teachers, you're getting the same poll but a different one so that your answers don't get mixed in with the students. Here you go, teachers. I will give you all 30 seconds to answer the question. The link is restricted. Is that what you're telling me, Nora? Is the link restricted for everyone? I didn't know that would happen. If the link is restricted for everyone, students, why don't you just put your number in the chat? If it's not restricted, just vote on it. I'm going to check results of the student poll. No, I have lots of results in the student poll, Nora. Maybe that's your own internet at home. But I have 45 votes from students right now, which means 45 people were able to answer the question. Let's look at my teachers. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one, teachers. Gabby, for you, the chat is not disabled. You just can only type in it once per minute, but you don't need the chat to answer the question. You just need to click on the link. So let's take a look. I'll give you 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We are done voting. And sadly, or not sadly, depending on who you are, the teachers have lost this one. The teachers, for everyone, the correct answer was number 2. Mi, re, do. We had 50% of teachers answer that correctly, and 82% of students answer that correctly. So fantastic job, students. And teachers, step it up. Now, that was just a practice question, so nobody gets any points. And now that everyone understands how this is working, we're going to go into the game for real. I'll just remind you one more time what everything sounds like before we start. Number 1, do, sol, do. Number 2, mi, re, do. Number 3, re, ti, do. Number 4, sol, fa, mi. And number 5, do, re, do. Okay, those are all 5, and the next one we do is for real. Alrighty then. I just have to make your new polls. All right. I have made your new polls, and now let's listen for it. I will play it 2 times. Listen again. I'm going to put students your link in the YouTube chat. And teachers, I'm putting your link in the teacher chat. No thanks, Mason. All right, one more time I'll play the melody. And let's take a look at how our results are going. I have 48 student votes again. That's almost all of the students who voted last time. And I have, it says I have 4 teacher votes. It says I have 4 teacher votes, and look at that. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I'll give you another 10 seconds to figure it out. All right, and that's the end of our time. And in our first official round, sorry, students, you had the answer right 68% of the time, a bit of a drop-off from your practice round. And teachers got the answer 100% correct. All 4 teachers voted for the correct answer, which was number 3. Re, ti, do. So good job, teachers. Let's update that on the scoreboard. Teachers, 1. Students, 0. Let's step it up, students. I'll remind you once more of your melodies before we do the next round. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, and 5. Alrighty then. Make sure I do this correctly with your polls. I'm sorry, it takes me a little bit of time to make every one. Okay, new round. Here is your melody. Listen one more time. Here is your melody. And students, here is your link. Teachers, here is your link. Oh, I hope we're not discussing answers in the teacher chat. That would be sad. Are the kids discussing answers? Oh, they are. No, nobody discuss answers. Shh. That's cheating. Can't come to a consensus. Mr. Gorman has perfect pitch. All right, I'm going to start taking a look at my results of these polls. Let's see. Ten more seconds. Okay, let's take a look at what happened. The answer was, of course, number 1. And the students' chat got it wrong entirely. 46% of you voted for number 5 when number 1 was the correct answer. To be fair, number 1 was the next most popular answer at 42%. Let's check the teachers. And the teachers got it wrong as well. Oh no! 75% of our teachers got it wrong and only 25% got it right, which means the students take round 2. Already, what a fast comeback from the students. I'm just going to make your polls for the next round. Now, why did so many people think that was number 5 instead of number 1? Does anybody know? What is similar about number 5 and number 1? Let's check my student chat. Do any of the students know what's similar about number 5 and number 1? I don't see anyone answering my question. The similarity between the two is that they both go up and then back down. That's number 1. It went up and back down. Number 5 also goes up and back down, just by a different amount. Number 5 goes up number 1 goes up all the way to sol, do, sol, do, which is jumping a lot of notes. And number 5 just steps up one note. Do, re, do. I don't even know if I can do that, Gabe. So let's go on to the next one. I have your straw polls ready. I do. Just going to give you one more quick reminder in case it's fading in anyone's memory. Whoops. In case it's fading in anyone's memory, what they all sound like. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Let's try this next melody. Listen closely. That was my mistake. That's not any of them. Next melody. Listen closely. I'll play it one more time. And students, here is your poll. I'm going to put it in your chat right now. Teachers, here is your poll. I'm putting it in your chat right now. And I will give you 30 seconds to answer the question. Let's take a look at the results. Students are off to a very strong start. Let's look at the teachers. With 1 vote, the teachers are definitely off to a start. I have 55 votes from the students, who are doing a very good job so far, and 3 votes from the teachers. Let's go. I think I'm missing 1 teacher, but nope, all my teacher votes are in. And students, I'll give you another 10 seconds. All right. And with 61 votes for the student, 72% of you picked the correct answer. 72% of you picked number 4, which was sol fa mi. So very good, students, for most of you picking the correct answer. Unfortunately, students, all of the teachers picked the correct answer. 100% of our teachers picked number 4. And the teachers move into the lead yet again. What was my second most popular answer? Was number 2. And again, we have the same thing with number 2 as the second most popular answer because it moves the same way as number 4. Number 4 moves down by step. Number 2 also moves down by step, but it just starts at a different spot in the scale. So if you guessed number 2, you were very close, but not quite. Time to make your new polls for the next round. And now that I have both polls up, once again, a reminder of what your melodies sound like. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay, listen closely. Here's your melody. Listen one more time. That's your melody. I'm going to put it in the chat. Students, here is your poll. Teachers, here is yours. And I'm going to start to look at the results now that we've had the polls up for a minute or two. Students are off to a very mixed start. Let's look at the teachers who are off to a start. I heard it, but Ryan still has a better chance. Whoops. Oh no. And we're coming down to the wire, teachers. We only have time for a couple more of these. Okay. Teachers, all of your answers are in. Students, I'll give you another 10 seconds. Okay, then. Now looking at the student poll, 55% of you picked number 3, which is wrong. Looking at the teacher poll, 100% of you picked number 2, which is also wrong. You ever take a test and the teacher keeps picking C over and over and over again as the answer, and you get freaked out because you don't want to keep writing down C, even though C is the correct answer? It was number 4 again. And 18% of the students did pick number 4, which is more than the 0% of teachers. So students take round 2. And we're all tied up again. And I'm going to make your straw polls for the next round. And I think This will be our last one. We are just about out of time. So with the teachers and the students in a complete deadlock, this is for the win. Again, here's a reminder of your melodies. The next one, that was number 1. I'll play number 1 again. Here's number 2. Here's number 3. Here's number 4. And here's number 5. I'll play all of them one more time since this is so important. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Okay, here's your question. This is to win. I'll play it one more time. Listen. Okay, and now students, I am putting your poll in the YouTube chat. And teachers, I am putting your poll in the teacher chat. Where's my teacher chat? It's over here. Let's take a look at the results. This is to win it. I'll give you another 15 seconds to answer. First mistake in my life. Okay. And students, with an astounding 83% of the vote, most of you picked the correct answer, which was number 5. Unfortunately, students, all of the teachers picked number 5 as well for 100% of teachers, and just barely, the teachers win. Thank you all so much for coming to this. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, teachers, for being a part of this. You were a very stiff competition for our students in the first time doing this. Students, maybe next time. Sorry, you did very, very well. Unfortunately, the teachers were just this much better this time. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody.